Hi, I'm Bob Goldsmith. I'm the president and CEO of BCMS. I'm based here in Midtown Manhattan. Today, I'm speaking with Lex Colley, a senior vice president here at BCMS. With over 15 years of experience, he has advised companies in technology, media, telecom, life sciences, consumer products, and the industrial sectors. We're going to be discussing M&A in a post-COVID-19 world. Let's get started. Hey, Lex, great to have you on board with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Bob. Great to see you.
Good to see you. It's been a while since we were together in person. I have to say that Lex and I worked for many years together in our New York City office before he moved out west to join our LA office. So it's been a great thing. Of course, not too long after we couldn't go to any of the offices, but we're hope to be back in the saddle soon. So Lex, thanks for joining.
Well, thanks again. And right, fortunately, it's proven to have systems here that support this type of interaction, which, right, we'd be having regardless, I think.
We've been doing a lot of it. So, yeah, let's start. Give us a couple of minutes on your professional background.
Sure. I've been in investment banking for actually over 20 years now. Working in a variety of capacities, helping companies raise capital via private placements to institutional investors to grow their business or seek liquidity and growth capital via initial public offerings, as well as helping them exercise merger and acquisition endeavors. So joining BCMS 8 years ago, been having a blast spending it all exclusively selling and representing sellers of businesses, and it's really been a wonderful experience seeing their reaction, I think, to the outcomes and how it helped chart their course kind of for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, it's nothing like selling the business as opposed to some of the other investment banking activities that our bankers have been engaged in, right? Really great to be there when the dream comes true.
Right.
So speaking of the dream, Lex, tell me, are deals happening now? What does the M&A market look like right now from your vantage point? How do you feel like the M&A market is at the current time?
So the answer is simple: yes, transactions are happening.
Yep.
We have, obviously, Bob, have evidence firsthand at BCMS, having closed several transactions post-COVID in April through the spring, as well as straight through the summer months here. And even just in the past, week or so, with more on deck for later this quarter. So transactions are happening. We're seeing them occur with some resilience and valuation. And right, you might see that just via public equity benchmarks. The valuations have held up, but we're seeing that to be true as well, for the most part, in the private markets. The one different factor, I think, with the COVID is that the volume is down, right?
Right.
So there's a number of reasons for that, whether it's buyers and sellers respectively needing to focus for the moment on internal affairs, or just a longer tail on the marketing and completion of a sale process due to the lack of traveling and in-person activities. But we see that coming back. So there's a lot of more sense of normalcy and optimism now than where we were in the spring. So, expect a lot more activity to start picking back up. Certainly the demand's there, the capital is there. So right. There's no shortage of that.
Yeah, it's interesting to me. I mean, I think there's one of these themes where, investors too don't do that well with uncertainty. I mean, just complete uncertainty. And as things become a little bit clearer, as we get back to work, a little bit of positive news coming out of healthcare about COVID. It feels like they're really coming back. So I felt the same thing. We obviously had that period where things slowed down considerably, and we were spending a lot of time preparing our clients. Some deals sort of took longer, but now the interest does feel good. Sort of on this topic, so there are active buyers in the middle market. How have buyers' appetites changed in light of the pandemic? What are they looking for now? Is there a difference? I'm asking you a couple of questions all wrapped up, but what are they looking for? Is there a difference between the private equity, the financial sponsors, private equity buyers, and the strategic purchasers that you see, if any?
So from my vantage point, there hasn't been a shift in what the buyers that present to us and we present opportunities to, whether they're private equity firms or strategic buyers, are necessarily looking for. I think they historically, currently, and I expect coming out of COVID, will continue to look for companies that are strategically valuable. And that can be defined as one or more areas, right? Whether it's helping them with geographic expansion, product or service enhancement, or new offering, talent, right? Whether that's current in-house or even the selling owners that have a very positive attitude and making the buyers feel comfortable that they'll assist with a very smooth transition. I think are still the core tenets of what buyers are looking for on both the private equity and strategic side. The strategic side, referring to corporate buyers, you see headline deals that are in the billions of dollars. I think that's all relative to who the buyers are, but more so in times of uncertainty. While still keeping valuations up, you're just going to see maybe more smaller deals, right, from a given large strategic, rather than trying to move the needle with one, right? They want to spread the risk a bit. So that may continue a little bit for the rest of the year and certainly into next year. And that's a good tailwind, frankly, for middle market and lower middle market sellers. On the private equity side, right, it's just maybe a tale of two firms for some out there, those that are exclusively focused on internal affairs and making sure that their portfolio companies are shored up. But that seems to be the minority of conversations we're having. The majority are very eager and aggressive and know that they still need to compete with strategics as well as other private equity firms on acquisitions. So they're looking for deal flow from us. They want to put their money to work. Again, just a longer process, I think, has occurred. But I think we'll revert back closer to the mean, right, going into the end of the year and into next.
Yeah, I find in a lot of recession, just from my historical experience, large strategic combinations can drop off, but there's always sort of activity and a high degree of interest in quality assets and quality businesses that really that fit in well with the buyer. Maybe not so dependent on credit markets to fund, but if you have a good business that solves a problem, that's a good add-on for private equity, has a product range for strategics, they're interested in that, even though some of the big combinations might drop off. So then a couple of words, Lex, if you would, on the types of sectors that are strong today. Which industry sectors do you think will see the greatest consolidation now and during the recovery?
Right. I think that there's going to be a lot of consolidation and opportunity, not necessarily out of necessity, but more so from a strategically valuable, again, perspective in industries from healthcare to technology to other infrastructure and in certain industrial businesses. Might be easier, as I have mentioned in the past, to talk about industries that will unfortunately face more challenging times, which are more capital intensive players, whether it's in the airlines or some of the hospitality areas that have just seen occupancies, et cetera, drop, and they're trying to rationalize assets. But I think, again, in healthcare, technology, just to list two, and in certain consumer products, even staples, there's a great opportunity. And it's not just the headline household names. The ecosystems are large. So if you play in that space at all to support the next player on the chain, if you will, that's going to help enable trends that are going to be long-lived, right? From what we're doing right now on the video conference side to the way we procure dinner to make purchases. So I think there's going to be a lot of activity for the foreseeable future in those areas. Healthcare, of course, I put into that too. It's the intersection of healthcare and technology is right there, right? So in fact,
Right.
Been using Teladoc for my routine checkups, and it becomes the new normal, right? These might not be one-offs. This it's probably has proven to be a better use of my time, and this is where I think real shifts occur, right? And this
Yeah.
is one of those times, and that's opportunity, right? So again, the ecosystems are large. There could be a very small software vendor, for instance, that supplied in the supply chain the ability to book appointments, but not necessarily even in healthcare. And suddenly their platform is proven to be robust enough really to accommodate so many industries
Yeah.
going online.
Yeah. No, we see it
So I'm
across
excited
industries.
from that perspective.
Yeah, I mean, we just see you see when you see an economy sort of transforming, then you see opportunities from, from food delivery to facilities management. It's amazing the array of industries that we see that have had a bounce or that have just been transformed. I mean, we've seen a lot of home improvement companies because people are focused on making their home a place that they want to stay. In healthcare, definitely, you're right. I mean, I just saw it. I was reading the filing, the regulatory filing for Amwell, which is a virtual healthcare group. And if you go through sort of exciting reading, but they put out, you can glean a lot from that. I mean, it's amazing the kind of growth that they experience and how virtual healthcare is affecting really every provider, and plus the insurance companies and so forth. So very, very interesting stuff. Lex, thank you. I want to give a big thanks to our audience for watching. Lex, thanks for spending some time with me and sharing your wisdom and knowledge. While some industry sectors continue to perform well through this pandemic, we know that some of you are being challenged in unforeseen ways and are often alone in having to plot the course forward. And some of you are performing well and also want to get our feedback. We have a range of in-house skills to help with some of the critical elements of business continuity and business growth, business management, including financial, operational planning, as well as people management. If you have any questions about your personal situation, please get in touch via the link below. We are in the business of making relations with, developing relations with business owners. We can have conversations on a very informal basis. And so we're here to speak with you. Thank you for joining us. Stay well and goodbye.